Governor, I have to say that, because there are so many people here today, it's easy to have oversights. And if there are any more, know that it's an error of the head and not the heart. But I would say that it is incredibly heartening that there are so many people here. This was not always the case on this issue. Many people saw this as a third rail issue. There were a lot of people that were happy with an unjust status quo. 10 years ago, when I was an at-large Boston City Councilor and chair of the Committee on Healthy Women, Families, and Communities, making the case that walkable amenities, that restaurants had something to do with healthy communities, that it was about public health and public safety, social and economic mobility, these critical anchors. And so to stand here today, President Spilka, I have to say, it feels good to be in the Massachusetts 7th. It feels good to be home. It feels good to be in Boston as we celebrate the signing of game-changing legislation to reform our archaic liquor license laws, to give our restaurateurs and our communities a chance to enjoy an equity and opportunity to build community and to build wealth. It never gets old. I feel just as hopeful as I did 10 years ago when we were here with Governor Deval Patrick when we signed the Economic Development Bill that included our first bite at reforming this antiquated, unjust liquor licensing system. Governor Patrick signed that after we had worked for 4.5 years with 2 mayors. Mayor Menino, this was the last action on his desk. Mayor Menino and Mayor Walsh. So if we can just acknowledge both of those mayors and Governor Patrick. I was proud to lead that effort as an at-large Boston City Councilor, and it's a beautiful thing to be able to celebrate with Governor Healy as we take the next step towards economic justice for all of Boston's neighborhoods. Are you tired of making history yet? You keep doing it. Okay. The legislators in this room, Councilor Brian Worrell, Representative Chris Worrell, State Senator Liz Miranda, when I say that they have poured their blood, sweat, and legislative capital into making today a reality, it was not easy. But this is a glorious day. It is so rare as a lawmaker when you plant a seed that you can see it bear its fruit in your lifetime. So this is an incredible, incredible day. When I first raised this issue a decade ago, we knew that reforming a century-old system designed to strip Boston of the flexibility to raise or lower the cap on liquor licenses was a long, difficult, and politically risky process. But we showed what was possible when we bring together a diverse coalition of existing and aspiring restaurateurs, economic justice advocates, and community members who recognize the need to disrupt an unjust status quo and address the disparity in neighborhood sit-down restaurants. I am proud of the cultural and economic impact that our liquor license reform has had since passing in 2014. The impact has been undeniable in the restaurants that have been able to open, remain open, and become staples of their respective neighborhoods, and for the entrepreneurs and workers who have found opportunities that were previously closed to them. And take it from me, there is simply no better feeling than traveling this incredible city from Hyde Park to East Boston, Dorchester, Jamaica Plain, Roxbury, seeing the fruits of that labor in new neighborhood restaurants. Restaurants are the economic, social, and cultural anchors of our streets. They incentivize foot traffic. They feed our bodies and our souls. They create space for us to celebrate and to grieve the milestones of life. And the folks up here know that every single Bostonian deserves the chance to do that in the community they call home. 10 years ago, I was hopeful that our liquor license reform would set a new floor for future reform, as we saw today. It is a joy to celebrate this new legislation, which gives us the chance to realize that fundamental idea that this city and all its blessings belong to all of us. And now we know that even a historic day like today is not a magic wand. We're all committed to putting in the work to make sure this game-changing legislation has the transformative and equitable impact we all know it can. So while we continue to do the work to break down barriers to entry like disparate access to capital, the shortage of built-out commercial space for restaurants in our communities, the importance of today cannot be underestimated or understated. So let's raise a figurative drink to today's achievement, roll up our sleeves tomorrow to actualize the potential of this game-changing legislation. And with that, I'm proud to introduce my sister in service who speaks the same love language that I do, policy. Lead of this historic piece of legislation, State Senator Liz Miranda.